Today's question is, Anthony, why do you tell us to squat like a rocket?
I'm a rocket man, burning out his fuse out every home.
So today's question came from someone who asked us, why do you tell us here in the gym to squat like a rocket instead of, in the past, they've always been told to, sit back into a chair. So basically there's a couple of reasons. And what we're talking about is really when someone squats, so that means they're going to set they're starting standing, their feet are on the floor, and they're going to basically drop their hips and their body down and let their knees and hips bend and then come back up, right? That's basically what a squat is. And so we tell people to squat like a rocket instead of telling them to sit back like a lot of people have heard. And there's a couple of reasons. First, let's start as to why did we always hear to sit back? Like, why is that a common cue? Number one is a lot of people, if they have no idea what they're doing in the gym and they're totally brand new, they'll tend to really just kind of stick their knees out forward when they squat and let their heels come up off the ground. And that's not really a squat. We call it a deep knee bend. That has a different purpose. And so for a squat, we want them to keep their feet stuck on the floor, heels down. And so instead of driving the knees forward, you've heard stick your butt back instead, right? Now, another reason you've heard that is a lot of fitness coaching cues tend to come from the world of powerlifting. And powerlifters' job, their sport, is to lift as much weight as possible, right? So one of their events in their sport is to barbell back squat as much weight as they possibly can. So the weight's on their back, and they kind of pull that bar as low on their shoulders as they possibly can, and then they basically push their butt back as far as they possibly can. And the leverages dictate that they have to sit their butt back as far as possible so they can engage as many muscle groups as possible to squat as much weight as possible. We've kind of taken that logic and applied it to regular fitness. A lot of people have. And so that's a great cue for powerlifters, or if you're low bar back squatting, but we have to remember context, all right? Not all of us are going to be doing that sort of exercise. So in a regular kind of general population fitness in our classes, we're not barbell back squatting, so we tell people to squat like a rocket. And what does that actually mean? Visually, if you want to think about like a rocket, when a rocket launches, which way does it go? It goes straight up, right? So it's not going at an angle, it's not curving, it's just straight up. And so we're going to use that visual, right? So now you have a visual cue. Because in our gym, we tend to use a lot of weights that are in the front of your body. So if we have a kettlebell for a goblet squat, or if we have double kettlebells, or maybe a sandbag, the weight's always loaded on the front of your body. So when the weight is there, it's going to force you to stay more upright. Okay, you can't sit back here. You're going to start dumping that weight out in front of you. And then it becomes more of a hip hinge. So that's why we say squat like a rocket. Another thing to remember too, a lot of people when they squat, when they're in the bottom position and they want to come up, they'll tend to push their butt up first and then come up with the shoulders. So we say rocket. That shoulder, that head is a rocket, and it's coming straight up. So it's just a little visual cue we use, and hopefully it gives people something they can think about, and they can kind of judge their own movement that way, okay? So if you're squatting in a gym, especially if you're doing any kind of front squat, front-loaded squat, kettlebell, sandbags, we want you to squat more like a rocket and less of hips back into a chair. Give it a try. Play around with it. It may take a while to get used to it, but think straight up, straight down. Until then, move better, train smarter.